If you asked me 2 years ago, I never would have gotten an indoor bike trainer. But life circumstances change and here we are. For the most part, I find cycling fun. And I think that's why I've been able to have a very consistent cycling practice. It's not exercise for me, it's not a way to stay fit, it's not a way to lose weight, it's not a way to stay healthy. In fact, those are the side effects, the positive side effects of cycling for fun. But getting an indoor trainer, staring at a screen, that does not sound like fun. In fact, it sounds like the total opposite of why I love cycling. So why did I get myself an indoor trainer? I find that for me, cycling is fun when I am fit. And that means I get to join these events. That means I get to do long weekends on the bike, explore really tough routes, race with friends, and just test myself on the bike. In order for me to do these things, I need to stay fit somehow. And generally that means cycling almost every day. If you've watched the vlog regularly, you already know that the wife and I, we have 3 boys and one of them is a baby, currently around 9 months old. So it's been super tough finding time to exercise. So there is a lot to do in the day. In fact, I don't know if you can hear them. My kids are downstairs. It's summer and they're just playing. And the baby right now, he's in the room taking a nap. Hopefully he does not wake up in the middle of this recording. So there's a lot of juggling in the middle of the day. So the indoor trainer is the hack or the trick to finding time to train. It's more efficient because you aren't freewheeling anymore. Like when you go down a hill, I find that like 45 minutes on the trainer feels like an hour and a half in real life. Real life cycling is more fun though, but still it makes it more efficient, more time saving. It also allows you to be more safe and efficient when doing intervals on the bike. At least you don't have to contend with the contours of the road or traffic. And if you have a smart trainer, you can be more precise with your training plans because you can tell how much power you are doing and you can follow to the T the training plans that are online. Fortunately for me, SPN Cycle sent me the Magene T300 Plus Smart Trainer. I've had it for a few months now and here are some thoughts. I'm not an expert on smart trainers, but this one got a glowing review from Shane Miller of GP Llama. It compares very favorably to the bigger brands in the market. It's designed to be very stable, although not quite the same as cycling outside, especially once you stand on the bike. The T300 is also very quiet, which means I can actually watch movies on my phone without having to use headphones, which is really nice, surprisingly. Especially if you compare to what I was using previously, the Magene T300 is a million times better than my previous setup. You can also order it on the Village shop. I highly recommend it. So again, with the indoor trainer, I am able to be more precise with my training plans. This allowed me to do an FTP test. It means functional threshold power. It is a measure of your cycling fitness and ability to maintain a high but manageable power output for a somewhat lengthy duration. So I did the 20-minute FTP test. Basically, you try to go as hard as you can for 20 minutes and then you multiply the average power number with 95% and the result is your FTP. So for me, I managed 20 minutes at 260 watts. 95% of 260 watts is 247. So 247 watts was my FTP during that test. And with that FTP number, I discovered a few things with some of my usual interval sessions. The first workout is a VO2 max interval. A 4x4 is 4 minutes at VO2 max, then a 4-minute break, then I repeat. If you don't have power on your trainer, the protocol is basically go as hard as you can for 4 minutes and then rest and then repeat. I find that the smart trainer allows me to make the interval quote-unquote easier. Since I found that I have a tendency to cycle at a higher power in the beginning of the interval and then I tend to lose gas towards the end, and that last 4-minute interval tends to be super hard. But since the T300 has power, I am able to pace that interval much better. I also like doing steady state workouts. I'll usually do a 3x10 or 3x11 or 3x12. It depends on how much time I have. If it's a 3x10, it is 10 minutes below or at FTP. Then a break of half the interval. Then I'll just repeat that 3 times. When I was doing this interval without power, I found it quite difficult to pace. I had a tendency to not go as hard as I should. So in a way, having the power numbers have made this particular interval, the steady state interval, slightly more difficult compared to when I was just doing it by perceived effort. The third workout, and honestly the most boring workout for me on the trainer, is the Zone 2 workout. I spin easy for at least 45 minutes. This is the most boring one because normally if I have more time to bike, I would rather do this outside. Even though it may not be as efficient, but it is just a lot more fun doing it outside. This is probably the workout best done without power. The power number will kind of have you reaching for it. And then the Zone 2 days are actually supposed to be really easy days. So sometimes when you're reaching for a power number, it makes it hard. So I tend to not look at my power numbers when I'm doing a Zone 2 day and just do it by perceived effort. And then I learned this the hard way because I was doing Zone 2 using my power numbers and my heart rate numbers, and then it actually felt tiring. So I asked for help online, and so shout out to Bins, L, and Terrence for providing some insight on Zone 2 days. So one last thing about the cycling indoors with power also. In a few months, I'll be able to check if I actually got better. I can do another FTP test and get a sense of if I've been getting better or not. It's tricky with cycling because there's a certain point where you're not sure if you're getting better or not. And cycling with power will show you if you are getting stronger or getting weaker. Thank you so much, SPN Cycles, for sending it over. SPN Cycles distributes a lot of great brands to the Philippines. You can find many of them on the Villain online shop, Magene, IGP Sports, and even brands that aren't on the Villain shop yet, like Seca and Yolio, Think Rider. If you are interested in those brands, send me a message. Like if you want that new Seca frame, the Spear, hush hush. Before we go, I'd like to ask, do you have an indoor trainer? Have you thought about buying one? What is stopping you from buying an indoor trainer? If you'd like to hear more from me, I publish a Villain newsletter here. You can subscribe.